Cool. So with that being said, we usually record these things, right? And so what we're going to do is we're going to record them. And if we get great, like the one we did last week with Krista, we got great feedback. So we're just going to post it to our YouTube channel. By the way, on our YouTube channel, we have like an example listing appointment. We have an example buyer's appointment, buyer consultation. I have like a first-time home buyer seminar from like years ago that like I put up there. So there's some cool resources in there, you know, and like, again, we're trying to fill it with great content that people can use. And again, like we think that doing this thing alone kind of sucks. So we want to do it with other people, right? Like, you know, like Amanda and I hopped on and we started laughing, you know, like we want to have fun with this thing and we don't want to take ourselves too seriously. So with that being said, what we're going to be training on today, and again, this is like, we're going to be training on circle prospecting, right? Like, and I'm going to dive into that, right? And this is because last week, Krista Travato was on, and you know, that is on our YouTube channel. If you want to check it out, it was the feedback I got from that was great. Krista is someone that, again, I get a lot of energy from, and I really love her. And yeah, I don't know. I've been like begging her to be on my real estate team for years. But who knows? Maybe she'll join. That'd be awesome. But you know, Chris is just awesome. She's playing a different game, and I love it. And so a lot of people, you know, Bill Hagan called me and said to me, he's like, dude, he's like, I might have to write Krista a check because Krista got one of my guys so fired up, he just started circle dialing at Homedale and got $1.2 million listing. Like, Krista did that training. One of Bill's guys hit the phones, got $1 million listing. Like, that's kind of cool, you know? And so everyone was asking, like, what's circle dialing? And again, if you're new, if you're not new, like what we do is we just have conversations with the public. That's what we do. That's how we do business. We are just looking for opportunities. We like people. We're professional. And that's kind of what we do. There's really no secret to it. You know, it was a huge aha for me. One of my coaches just said, Joe, you just asked me why he thought why I had, you know, done the amount of transaction I had done or achieved what we had achieved. And I didn't really know the answer. And he kind of said, like, he said, you just have more conversations with more people. It's that simple. So we're going to dive into this, right? And so, and by the way, we're going to show resources that we use. And if you email admin@joeosgroup.com, we'll give you those resources. It's all free, right? Again, whatever, you get it, right? This is just to build community. So I'm going to share my screen now and dive in. And people can hop in at any time, by the way. If you have a question, just stop me. Like, you can just say, Joe, just call me out, whatever. If you just make sure it pertains to what we're doing. Cool. So I'm just going to read this, right? So like at one point, like on our real estate team, everything's a system, right? So we have a handbook for everything we do. So that means that everything's documented. So if a new agent comes on, like we move super fast, you know, and it's funny, I was goofing on Jess earlier, but like if you try to catch me during the week or if it's not purposeful, you're not going to be able to catch me. But we have the resources to help you do what you need to do. And we're going to point you in that direction, right? And the stuff's easy. You just gotta start doing it. And if you're really bad at it at the beginning or you're scared, you just got to start, right? So circle prospecting. I'm gonna call on somebody. Hey, Jess Cartelis, can you see that? Do you want to read that?
You want to read the whole thing?
Yeah. You comfortable doing that?
Circle prospecting in real estate is a method of prospecting where you call a geographic area of people you do not currently know and ask them for business. This may sound like a very pushy technique, but believe me, this actually is one of the easiest methods of prospecting today. Circle prospecting offers a unique niche market that you might otherwise not find. The goal of circle prospecting is to grow your database and set appointments that you may later turn into listings. Using the right circle prospecting script often makes that easier. Growing your database is one of the most valuable assets that circles prospecting allows you. When you're calling expired listings, much of the time, many other agents are calling the same listings as well. This doesn't mean you can't get listings by, I'm trying to read it because it's small.
Sorry.
Listing by, yeah, it's just my computer. Oh geez, now I'm totally lost.
I'll hop in there. It doesn't mean you can't get listings by calling expires. It simply means you have more competition. And it's the same way with FSBOs. You may be the best agent for the job, but you may not be the agent that reaches them first or connect with them in a way that gets you the appointment. For sale by owner prospecting can be very rewarding. The reason I love circle prospecting more than for sale by owner prospecting is because for sale by owner prospecting is a follow-up game. The person who follows up best wins. That's everything, by the way. That is the same game you are playing when you are circle prospecting. The difference is you don't have 10 other agents calling your prospects while you are playing the follow-up game. Let's be honest here. If you only had 10 other agents calling FSBOs and expireds in your area, you would probably be a very successful agent with minimal amount of work. I don't know where you are working, but that is not the market I work in. So basically what circle prospecting is I love where it says here, I wrote it down, they may turn into listings later. So these are people that were just calling and asking if they were looking to sell a house in the next 12 months, right? And they say, yeah, we're thinking about it. And then the idea is once someone says they want to sell their house in the next 12 months, go meet them, look at their house, become friends with them, get into a relationship with them. It's that simple, okay? And then, a low potential agent, right, will say something like, oh, that person's not going to list till January. A high potential agent will think, well, oh, cool, they're going to list their house in January. Like, are you going to be a realtor in January? Do you want a listing in January? Then go meet that person, have a conversation with them. I can't tell you how many times. And you know what? Everyone on this call is talented, right? Or else you wouldn't be on this call or you wouldn't be in our world, right? So like you kind of get it. But the idea is it's a long game. That's all it is. It's like losing weight or whatever's worth obtaining. It takes time, right? So what we understand is this. And so when it talks about, I don't know what market you're in. I mean, I remember calling FSBOs and expireds in like, dude, I don't know, man, just a long time ago. And like no one else was doing it. It was like, it was awesome, man. Like I would just get so many, I didn't really have much. It's before, Keller Williams had like 5 offices in Ocean and Monmouth County and everyone went to Bold and everyone had a Mojo dialer, and there were these massive teams and everyone had dialers. Like there was a time where like, I remember calling my first expired. I like would wake up in the morning, go to the MLS, go to a town I like to do business in, search the expireds, pull the addresses, go to the white pages, try and find a phone number. This would take an hour. And then I would call the 3 numbers in the white pages and they'd all be the wrong number, And then I was door knocking for expired. So we've come a long way. But the whole idea is it's an easy conversation and you're just asking around, right? And then what happens is you're just identifying people that want to sell and then you're following up with them. Cool. Can I get a volunteer to read? Can you guys read this? Is this big enough?
Yeah, I'll read it. Yeah.
Can you read that, Sam? The follow-up part?
Yeah. Sorry, I was just eating. Follow-up. You should know this is the place where most agents strike out. Most agents hear somebody say they don't want to sell for 6 months to a year, and they go on to the next person who's hot to trot. There's nothing wrong with that method. However, this is not how it works with circle prospecting. Circle prospecting is the long game. Circle prospecting is building up an enormous database of people who begin to know you and trust you. You are building your brand with these people. You can't just call them once and expect them to recognize you in the supermarket or think of you and they know someone with a house to sell. Think about how many times a day you see brand names. Do you remember what the name of the real estate agent who has that sign in front of the house near your kid's school? Maybe, but most likely not, and you are the real estate agent. So once you add these people to your database and you're getting postcards to them, newsletters to them, phone calls to them, they will start to recognize you. They will start to remember who you are when you call. As time goes on, you'll have a relationship with these people, and that is the goal. You are becoming the real estate agent of choice in the individual markets you are looking at. When you are circle prospecting and you're using that script that you memorized, that just sold script or the hot market script or even the open house script, you need to remember that each person you talk to has the potential to be an advocate for your business. That's what is so powerful about circle prospecting. You can literally create a database from nothing, from scratch. In time, that database will provide your family with the income you need for years.
Thanks, Sam. I mean, that's pretty straightforward, right? And here's the thing, man. Zillow sells leads. Like, you can't buy listing leads. People have been trying to crack the case for like listing leads. You can't buy them, man. You can buy buyer leads all day long, right? But you got to go out, like, unless you hire me, unless you hire me to make calls for you. That's the only way it's going to happen, man. So like getting on the phones. We have a listing right now in Wall Township. Someone remind me the address. By level.
1121. Is that what you're talking about? Hilltop?
Hilltop, correct. Yeah. So we have a listing and we got the listing, man. Like we got the listing. Multiple, whatever, it doesn't matter. We got a listing. In 2007, I circled. In 2017, 2017, 3 years ago, I circle prospected that neighborhood. Kept them in our database. In 2017, that person was ready to sell their house. In 2017, I asked to see it. Can I come over and see your house? Why? Well, I sell a lot of houses. You know, if I can get you market value or above for your house, would you consider it? Yeah, cool. Well, I can't sell something I haven't seen. Can I come over? Rad. All right, awesome. I'm going to be showing houses in your neighborhood on Saturday at 9 or whatever, Sunday at 3. Which one's better for you? Cool. Awesome. And by the way, I just want to see your house. I'm not coming over with a listing agreement. I'm not going to pressure you. This isn't Nordstrom. I'm not going to try and sell you pants. I just want to see the house. And because it took that approach, like that's a house we have under contract right now, you know? Again, I didn't know it was going to be 3 years, but I just used the same system, you know, that we always use. And that was that. So, and what happens is, you know, what happens is this is just build, when they say build a database, you just imagine if you had a CRM full of 100 people that said they want to sell their house in the next 12 months. And you just followed up with them. You just called them. They were just in your follow-ups. You called them once. Based on who they are and when they want to sell, you call them. Either this woman, she decided to put it off. I put her into our client event database, which means we call it 4 times a year when we're doing client events. And so I just called her 4 times a year. I just called her. Hey, what's up? What's going on? And then by the time it came to list, she just knew who I was. She's like, oh, it's Joe, you know? She got my mailers in the mail, all that stuff. So that's what this looks like, you know? We're going to get into scripts and things like that. The next section here is get the appointments. Is there someone that would like to volunteer? What about you, Stephanie Morrison?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you read, can your eyes read
Yep.
this?
Yes, they can.
All
Okay.
right.
Sorry, I'm in my car though. I'm just sitting outside of inspection.
Yo,
Okay.
Fast and the Furious Part 2.
Getting a listing appointment is obviously the goal of circle prospecting. However, when you're calling these people, they are completely cold to you and they don't know you from Ted over at the gas station. No offense to Ted. Well, these sellers may need to sell soon, so you'll need to gain their trust, which means you need to build a relationship with these people somehow. I personally recommend 4 calls a year, like Joe just said, 1 each quarter, plus having them on an email drip. Now, if you can add in some postcards, newsletters in the mail about your business, a business card, a thank you note, a kitchen magnet, etc., all those things are going to build a rapport with these people. Over time, your name is going to be in front of them, so often that they begin to recognize it. When they drive past the sign and they see your name on it, they'll think of you. We need you to get to the front of their minds. We need to make sure that you are the agent they think of when they have a home to sell or know someone who wants to buy or sell in that area.
Perfect.
Buy in the area or sell in the area.
Thanks. By the way, Stephanie just sold like 50 houses this month. Congratulations, Stephanie.
Thanks, guys.
Dude,
It was a good month.
Good. Congratulations. Not congratulations. I hate that. You deserve it. You work your butt off. So
Congratulations.
cool. So cool. That's pretty self-explanatory, I feel like. All right, I'm just gonna stop right here. Does anybody have any questions? It's pretty straightforward. Cool. I'm gonna dive into this part. It's kind of long. Build your list, right? When you're circle prospecting, you're going to talk to people that don't want to talk to you. People who know real estate agents that they would work with already. That's okay. We're not trying to turn the entire river to gold. We are prospecting. And when you are prospecting, you are looking for the single nuggets. The individuals who, when added to the database, are followed up with and are treated well will bring you business. You need to build this list every day. If you are working, the number one thing that you can be doing is building your database and feeding it, because that's how you get fed. So when you go to the office in the morning, the first thing you need to be doing is growing your database. After you feel like you've adequately grown your database for the day, you need to add value to the people in your database. What are some great ways to add value with little or no costs? One of my favorites is called Market Snapshot. God, I wrote this so long ago. You guys remember Top Producer? And that is a tool offered by Top Producer. So in your CRMs, and there should be like a market update, right? That you put in your CRM, and once a month or twice a month it comes in. It's free, right? Just like, you know, this is what your house is worth. It's kind of like blasting them like a Zestimate, you know, just a market analysis once or twice a month. Everyone wants to know what the house across the street sold for. Everyone wants to know what Harriet's house sold for. You can provide them with that at little cost to you. Plus, if you are sending that to them once a month, they are seeing your name 12 times a year right in front of their eyes. And they realize that you just added value to them. What is another way to do this? Community newsletters. They are a great way that you can create a digitally. I mean, we're getting into like, I don't want to get into marketing here, but this is all here. There's other stuff you could do, but really, like, I forget the gentleman that was on the call last week in Hoboken. I think he's in his first or second year, and he's at about 20 million in production, and he just makes calls and then drops them into the CRM, and they're getting emails of just updates. And when you're following up with them, a really great follow-up on the phone is, hey, I'm just calling to see if you got that market update that I sent. Oh, okay, cool. Well, there's activity in your neighborhood. Are you interested in knowing what? Are you interested in know? And you're interested in, wait, Sam Marks, what's the script about price that you liked?
Oh yeah, he was asking. I'm drawing a blank. Oh, is there a number? He just straight up asked. Is there a number that would be right for you to sell your home now?
Yeah, and before we get to the end of this training, we're going to go over like appropriate scripts for this, but you know, I'll wait to them. But yeah, there's a couple scripts that you can get at, like and ask people. And if they're like, if you catch them, if they're like, oh well, you know, what the house sell for? You just interrogate reality, right? Well, were you thinking about making a move in the next 12 months? Well, I don't know. And if they still seem a little like they don't know, like, cool. Well, if you did sell your house, where are you going to move to? You know, it's just, that's the whole motivation thing, right? So now we go into types of circle prospecting. Hey, Nick Valente, what types of circle prospecting are listed here?
Just listed, just sold, neighborhood call, or conversational circle prospecting, and open houses.
Yeah, it's easy. That's pretty self-explanatory, right? If your team lists a house, call the neighbors. By the way, when you call the neighbors and someone's kind of interested, are houses selling quickly right now, or are they selling slowly?
Quickly.
Very quickly.
Quickly, yeah. Are they selling at like asking price or above?
Oh, above.
So if you call 200 houses and you just listed a house, which by the way, your just listed calls should happen before your house gets listed, right? It should happen if your house is being listed on Tuesday. We should be calling them Monday or Friday or whatever or Saturday or whatever. You know, part of our marketing plan is we reach out to the neighbors. We call it pick your neighbor time. You know, who do you know that's looking to move to the neighborhood? Nobody. Cool. How long have you been in your house? Awesome. Cool. 20 years. Oh my God. When are you guys moving? All right, cool. You know, and when they say they're thinking of moving, what happens a week later when you have 4 offers, right? And now you have a story and, hey, Mary, it's Joe. We spoke last week. I told you about Bob and Mary's house that I listed. You're never gonna believe this. You know, like we had 3 offers over asking, and you know, it's the whole script. Like, you know, we have 1 house for sale, which means we can only sell it to 1 person, but we've got 3 other people that are looking to get in the neighborhood. I know you were thinking about moving to North Carolina in January, but you know, blah 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 blah. You know, whatever. You guys get it, right? Just sold, easy. You know, hey, you know, we just sold your neighbor's house. These are the same scripts, right? Like, and again, these are easy because it's just, you're just having a conversation, you know? And it's funny, I don't like, I prefer the hard calls, like the expired calls. Like I like just like having like punches thrown at me, right? Like I like putting my hands in front of my face, you know? But these ones are easy, man. Like if you like getting on the phone and talking to people, especially to a neighborhood you know or you live in, like you're, you know, and so we move on to neighborhood calls, you know? Like, so you should have a farm, right? You should have a farm. You should have an area where you work in, right? And then so you should just call that. If you do not have a database and you're new, you should pick an EDDM route or 3, and you should just outline it in Mojo Dialer, and you should just call it 4 times a year. That's it. That's it. Hey, and if you know that neighborhood, if you live somewhere and you own a house somewhere, you're bonkers for not doing this, right? So you just be like, hey, you know what? Cool. And you're gonna know about things happening in the neighborhood. Like, oh, did you see Antonio's whatever sub shop just opened up? Cool. Yeah, it's awesome. I ate there. You know, just calling the neighborhood to see if there's anything we can help with. You know, like you know, I keep looking at Bridgett, but like Bridgett's a great resource, right? And I know she like connects people. She's like a concierge when people move to the area. So like, you know, that's another thing. You just be like, hey, we are, you know, what are you calling me for? Well, we're a concierge. You know, do you need a roofer right now? Do you need a landscaper? You know, is there a tree that you need cut down? You know, how can I help you? You know, I just want you to know that I'm here. And by the way, you know, who do you know is looking to move to the neighborhood? And then open houses, that's a no-brainer, right? So like, and by the way, if you do have a listing, right, which if you're a real estate agent, I hope you have listings, right? So if you have a listing, if you've been around me or you've read or you've heard me talk before, you know, it's the listings leverage leads, right? We just want listings on our team. Like we prospect for listings and we understand that that's the leverage. And part of that leverage is being able to tell the neighborhood that you're validated, right? So now you're validated because if my neighbor lists with Mary and Mary sells his house, Mary's validated. Like I like, and plus like my neighbor Mike already put his trust in Mary, so he trusts Mary. Why wouldn't I trust Mary? Right? Does that all make sense? Like you've already got your foot in the door in that neighborhood. Just call them, right? Cool. So now the steps, and again, I know this isn't sexy. Like I'm sure I could I could make this pink and like get a graphic design on this, but like, I'm not trying to be sexy here. I'm not trying to sell you guys anything. I wrote it down. If you're a new agent, you want to know how this works, this is it, man. And if you want this, you know, we can share it with you. Here's the steps, man. Pull a calling list for a neighborhood or an address, use calling scripts, capture nurtures. A nurture is someone, and by the way, I have to define this. A nurture is someone that owns a house and they're looking to sell in the next 12 months. That's it. That's all you need. Don't overthink it. Don't whatever. Don't say like, but her neighbor next door is a realtor, or she said her mom's a realtor. Like, I don't care. Just if they own the house and they say they want to sell it, ask them if you can come and see it. I don't care where that house is. You're showing houses there on Saturday. Can you come see it? Your job is to go out there. These are all just opportunities. Because you guys, if I was going to a party tonight, hey Lynette, I'm going to call on you. If I was going to a party tonight and I was not a realtor and I knew you were a realtor and I said, hey Lynette, I'm going to this party tonight. This lady Mary's coming. I'm going to cocktail hour and this lady Mary's coming, who's my neighbor. She's definitely going to be selling in the next few months. You want to come? You probably would say yes, right?
Of course, yes.
Yeah, I remember doing that when I was I remember being like a newer agent, being like, oh yeah, that guy has to sell his house, right? Yeah, cool. Invite me over for dinner. You know, like you would do that. So why wouldn't you just do it? You know, why wouldn't you be purposeful about it? So this is like follow-up stuff. So this is all follow-up stuff that's old that we don't really need. God, follow-up's gotten so easy, man. Like God, we used to send them so much stuff and do a bomb video and do that. God, we overthought. I overthink everything in general, but I overthought this like crazy. Like the stuff I was doing to these people, they were getting bomb videos, they were getting emails, they were getting stuff in the mail, they were getting a seller guide. Just call, get in a relationship, be friendly, show up, brush your teeth. That's it. Just do that, please. And then in conclusion here, you are calling to find people who want to sell their home. This doesn't happen on the first, second, or third call. This is why we call them a nurture. We must nurture these clients to establish a rapport so they work with our firm when the time comes. Persistence and follow-up are key. So so this is a way to, we talk about real estate being like a roller coaster, right? Like I had 3 closings. Oh my God, I need to find somebody that wants to buy or sell a house. I had 3 closings. I need to find, like we want to avoid, at least for me, man, I wanted to avoid that roller coaster because that roller coaster sucks. The highs were high and the lows were low, right? Like the highs were like, we're rich, and the lows were like, oh my God, I hope Target's hiring, like there was a difference there, and I didn't like it. So what happened was when I worked my database, when I worked my sphere, I was selling houses to people that knew me and loved me and wanted to see me succeed. And then with other opportunities, I could just go and find business and work on it. And then through that, I could secure 2 to 4 transactions a month. And this kind of came up because on our team, we do a ton of expired and a ton of off-market properties, right? And you know, we have lists of like houses that have expired like the last 5 years and that still haven't been listed. So we'll call you if your house is listed in 2017 and you took it off and you never relisted. But so we went to Krista brought up circle prospecting because everything's selling. You know, there really aren't expireds, right? And we kind of, on our team, we kind of cleaned up during coronavirus because everybody took their houses off the market. Like every realtor, no one made a plan and thought about it. They just advised their clients to remove their houses from the MLS, which gave us their data. We called on all of them and we built a little database and we wound up listing a bunch of houses that like either their realtors dropped the ball or didn't handle that situation correctly. And they wanted, you know, they didn't know what a Matterport was, or they didn't know what a virtual open house was, or whatever that looked like. You know, we were prepared for all those things, so we got those listings. But it's also the time of the year, right? We're in the third quarter. This is like once, you know, forget coronavirus or anything like that, but once August is dead, you know, August is always dead. You know, it's usually traditionally speaking, that's the time of year where kids are going back to school. We didn't take that vacation. By the way, we never went to the beach house. You know, we never did this. We never, you know, that's, you know, the rest of the world is on holiday pretty much in August anyway. But also, so right now there's just no, Krista said, you know what, there's no expireds. So which I disagree with because we're listing expireds and we're taking them. But she just said, you know what, I just switched to circle dialing. And sometimes it's just fun to do something different, you know, and have a different experience. So
I have something to say.
Go for it.
I think that this year, because of everything that's going on, I think this year is an exception with the August being dead. I think August will still be just as busy as it is now because of the circumstances of what's happening right now across the world. And I just think that people are still moving out of the cities and they're just trying to get out of the urban areas and they're moving to the suburbs. And, you know, Monmouth Ocean, that's the suburbs. And I feel like people are going to be moving down here or up here, whether they're coming, you know, from Pennsylvania or New York. But I do think that that August is going to be just as busy as it has been. I think it's an exception. This year is an exception.
I think we don't think, right? We know because you know, our friends Brett and Dave who do business in Manhattan and Hoboken. John Cheese does business in Manhattan and he does the suburbs in North New Jersey. Dave and Brett are doing like Hoboken, Jersey City. You know, in New York, those people just, when they're on lockdown, the nanny can't go in the building, right? Like you can't use the elevator. When you go to the grocery store, you have to walk up the stairs. I don't know if you guys have ever helped a friend move into a building in Jersey City. We had to carry everything up the stairs. We were young. It was fine, but I'm not doing that stuff now, you know, but you couldn't use the elevator in your building. Your nanny couldn't come in. Your cleaning lady could not come in the building, right? So these were the things that were happening and things are kind of changing. And Brett even said it. He's like, we're just still circle dialing. We're just asking who's thinking about making a move. And also like, we're hearing like my kids not going back to college. You know, like we're hearing like life's changing right now. And yeah, so you're making calls. You know, I don't want to get into this. We're going to, as far as this coronavirus thing goes, man, we're going to be on lockdown for a little while. So people's priorities are changing. And, you know, again, dude, I don't know. I always go back to Bridgett. Bridgett said like, were you the one that said life short? Life short,
What I said is life short. Quarantine is long. Get the house you want.
Yeah, love where you live, dude. That's a t-shirt, right? No, don't put that on a t-shirt. No pandemic stuff on a t-shirt. But yeah, that was awesome. She's totally right. Like I heard that and I'm like, oh my God, that's really, really well said, really insightful. And people are like, you know what, man? And what I'm hearing is pools, right? Like, dude, I'm putting a pool in. If we can't go anywhere, I'm putting a pool in. I'm going to buy a pool house, whatever that looks like. You know, I have a friend just bought a house and they needed to have a pool because they have kids and those kids are just going nuts in the pool. Awesome. So now I think we are going to go to, Amanda's going to show you guys how you pull a list for circle dialing in Mojo Dialer. If you guys have never seen this is how we do it. And then I'm going to go to, so Amanda, I'm going to give you this. I'm going to make you the host, right?
Sorry, Joe, can you give me a minute?
I'm sorry, you're right.
I'm parked
I don't know who's yelling at Amanda, but
She's in
Parking.
trouble.
Is this it? All right. I'm gonna go.
Asbury parking enforcement. They don't mess around.
Sorry, there was a police officer knocking on the door here asking where I was parked.
Okay, I'm gonna do scripts. Okay.
No, wait, Joe, let me share my screen. Make me the host. I'm sorry about that.
Okay, you don't have to.
I got very scared for a second.
All right, you're the host.
Okay, so I'll just show you guys really quickly. So our team, we use Mojo. So when you're in Mojo, you're going to go to data and dialer. You're just going to click data and dialer, and you'll hit neighborhood search.
And we definitely do not call the do not call list, by the way.
Okay. All right. So you put in an address of a home you just sold. So let's say, just pull up here, pipeline really quickly. I'm just going to take a home that we just sold. So let's do 1407 8th Avenue. Actually, that's not a good one because we just, all right, let's say 1100 Old Drift. All right. The reason I said that wasn't a good one is because I believe we already did the just listed for that one, and it's not going to show me all of the people here. So it'll take me to where 1100 Old Drift is. So once you put in the address, it'll take you there. You can zoom out, and then this is something I was explaining to our team. Depending on the location, you can either do a radius plot, so you can actually create a circle where you want to prospect, or you can do a freeform plotting. So that actually allows you to just drop points and create a radius. So let's say I wanted to call this general area, and you would just leave this all unchecked, right? Because you don't want to call just vacant properties and so forth. So you'll leave that unchecked. You can go to additional filters, and then I'm just going to leave all of these checked, which is multi-unit, single family, and condo. They're all here checked. So leave that all. I'm not going to put a preference in for bedrooms, bathrooms, and so forth. And so it's showing me right now that the total amount of contacts in this exact area is 492. And then 291 of them are on the federal do not call list. So you can allow it and it'll actually import all 492, or you can leave it unchecked and it'll only import 201. So that's 201 contacts in this neighborhood. So I'll just hit import and then hit I understand. And then you're going to want to give the list a name. So generally I would just put, or the agents would just put the name of the house that we just sold. And so we're closing on 1100 Old Drift on the 20th. So let's say I just call this 1100 Old Drift. And then it's going to say contacts to be imported 0, meaning that someone already did a neighborhood call here. So there's already 201 of the contacts. The 201 contacts that this neighborhood search is pulling is already in our Mojo calls. Like they're already in our database in Mojo. So I can
see the overlay, right? Like underneath of it, if you guys can see the underlay, like looks like there was 2 circle dials already, like an agent went in and pulled them in our system.
Right. So like you can either hit keep old, or you can hit keep new, or you can hit keep new and old. I like to tell everyone that keeping new and old will create duplicates in Mojo, but again, it's up to you. So if you wanted to do keep old and then just hit finish import, it'll say a list with that name already exists. Okay, great. So now you can literally go to that list. You just go back to data and dialer, and you would go to 1100 Old Drift. There it is. But let's say it didn't exist. Let's say someone didn't already do a neighborhood call for 1100 Old Drift. You would still go to this same exact location call list, type it in, and the list would be here. And that's when you could just start calling, and it'll call everybody. And then really great scripts to use, would be this one here, the just sold script. So it'd be like, Joe, if you wanted to kind of take this over, you'd just tell them, hey, we just sold a house in this area. Joe, did you want to kind of do a little script?
Can I jump in and ask a question about the circle pulling off Mojo before we do scripts?
Yep.
So where you were back of the screen, when you were pulling the list and it asked you if you wanted to do old, new, or old and new, that's always where I'm kind of a little unsure. So in a case like that, obviously it was 0, right? Because it had already been done. If it was a totally new search and say,
All right.
I'm assuming the ones that it says would be duplicates would be, say, if it's an expired in that area, right? That means it's already in our expired data, so we have it. So would you suggest that we just take the new ones or make duplicates?
That depends on what you want to do. So, right. So like, let's say, okay, I'm just going to use a new one, for example, for Trotter's Way. Let's say we did a radius plot here and you want to just call this area. I'm just going to go, right now it's telling me that 159 will be imported because 227 of them are on the federal do not call list. So let's just do import. Understand. Okay, great. So here it says contacts that already exist in your data, 39. So this is like a better example because this list hasn't been created yet. So that means 39 of those contacts have probably either been for sale by owners or expired or canceled. So those 39 people are already in our Mojo data. Right now it's saying total to be imported would be 120 because it's taking the 39 away from that total. And you can either keep those 39. So this is what it means. Keep those 39 as the old contacts, meaning you're not pulling them into this list. They're going to stay in the list that they're already in. So whether they're already in like Mojo, expired, like if they're already in another list, they're there, or they're already in Mojo, so they're not going to be pulled. Or you can just do keep new and you can actually pull them to be new contacts into this list. Does that make sense? Because you're creating a new list. So you can actually pull them into this list and it'll actually pull them from the old list and put them in the new list. Or you can keep them where they are in the old lists and put them in the new list. But that's how it creates duplicates. So if I hit create new and old, they will be in this list that we're about to create. And then they'll also stay exactly where they are already in Mojo. So that's why there will be duplicates of them. But if you want to keep them in the old location, you're not pulling them into this list. So this list will only have 120. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, and can you click on keep new real quick? Is that the one that says the notes will be erased?
I believe that's when they create a whole new
Yeah.
contact for them. Yeah.
Yeah, that seems like the one that you just don't want to do because it's just going to remove any progress you've already made on somebody. So, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
so
so like,
question.
So if you still want to call those people, that's why I say just keep the new and the old, even though it'll create duplicates, then at least you can still call them, or keep the old, keep them where they are, but then you're not going to be able to call them if you click on this list. So for the sake of this training, I'm just going to hit keep new and old. That means all 159 of them are going to go into this list. I'm going to call it 5005 Trotter's Way. So all 159 will be imported into this exact list. So when you do the dialer and you call this list, those 39 contacts will be included, but they'll be duplicates. So they're not actually erased from where their original location is in Mojo. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's awesome.
So yeah, so like, let's say so let's say you're doing that, finish import. Oh, you have to give the list a name. So I'm going to call it, 500. Okay. I'm going to finish the import. It's importing. So I'm just going to show you what it looks like. So now all 159 contacts have been created. 39 of them, again, are duplicates, but that's okay because you still want to call them to say, we just listed a house in your neighborhood and on Tuesday, and we already have 2 offers. So you're going to go to calling lists and it'll be here. So 500 Trotter's Way, and you'll see they're all here. These are all the people, and you can just start calling them. And then I'll just go back to the scripts. Depending on if it's a just sold or just listed, these are some scripts you can use. Joe, did you want to discuss some scripts?
Yeah, sorry. By the way, just a quick thing, man. When you're pulling those, just a rebuttal that I've gotten in the past, like people will say like, "Where's the address?" And you tell them, they're like, "That's not near me." Like, if you do like a 2,000 square foot radius, it's like half of a mile. So be like, yo, mister, relax. It's like a half mile from your house. Like, don't let people like throw you off, They're like, but yeah, as far as scripts go, man, so we have script books. If you guys need script books or if you need scripts or whatever, just let us know. Hi, my name is Joe with the Joe Oz Hi, my name is Joe with blah, blah, blah. The Quinton Group at Keller Williams just listed a home for sale over on blank. It has blank bedrooms and blank baths. It's listed at blank. And I was wondering, who do you know that would love to move into our area? Fantastic. I appreciate you taking the time to think about this. Can you tell me when you plan on moving? Here's the thing. This is my friend Jeff's team, Jeff Quinton, right? So get as many scripts as you can from everywhere and just start saying them. Like I don't say that script. Like if you guys heard me say that, it sounded horrible, right? I was like, oh, hi, this is Joe. Like that's what it sounds like in the beginning, but you're going to make it your own. So what I'll do is I'll just like freestyle. Like what I do if so like a just listed script for me, for our team, for me goes like this, right? And again, this is being recorded if you guys want it. So I'll just be like, I'm just going to role play it. Amanda, can I call you?
Yeah.
Hi. Ring, ring, ring.
Hello.
Hi, I was looking for the owner of 123 XYZ Street.
Yes. How can I help you?
Yes, how can you help me? My name's Joe. I'm with the Joe Oz Group here at eXp Realty, and I'm actually giving you a call because we just listed your neighbor's house over at 205 Trotter's Way. That house is listed, it's about 2 bedrooms. It's listed at $350, and we just hit the market yesterday. And part of our marketing plan is whenever we list a home, we usually just call the neighbors. And, you know, John over there on Trotter's Way, he wanted us to reach out to the neighbors and let them know first that his house was going for sale, and then wanted me to just check in and see if you know anyone that might be thinking of moving to the area. You know, we, in the office, we call this pick your neighbor time. So if you had the opportunity to pick your neighbor, who would that be?
I don't have anyone. I don't actually know anyone that wants to move to the neighborhood right now, but I can definitely keep an ear out for you guys. But we were actually thinking of moving in a year because our daughter's graduating from college.
Perfect.
So we were thinking
Awesome.
of going to Florida.
Awesome.
So
Cool.
how much do you think the house is going to go for?
That's a really good question. I'd love to take a look at the property. I'm going to be showing houses there on Saturday. What time is better for you, 2 or 4?
I think could you do like noon? We like to be out and spend the day outside.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's kind of it, you know. And then Sam, can you share your script, man? Because yours is good.
Yeah, the message that we made, Joe.
Sure.
Yeah, it's sort of.
No, not only that, just like yours. What were we doing on Saturday? We were doing circle dialing.
Yeah.
But I think your script for Just Listed what script are you using? It Just Listed or Just Sold?
Well, kind of both. I was doing 2 different ones, but they're sort of the same. Here, I'll pull it up. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
We have.
So now here's a cool thing. So we were making calls, and then the people that when we call expireds, we don't drop messages, right? So in Mojo, there's a button where you can drop a message, right? So we do drop messages on these, and people call back, and it's a totally different experience. People call back, they call back, and Sam recorded the message, and it sounds great. I think he's gonna actually play it for you guys.
Yeah, we were using like a buyers in your neighborhood script. So just sold and had extra buyers. Yeah, this is it. I've got it written here. I'll just read it for you if you can hear me. So saying, hi, this is Sam from the Joe Oz Real Estate Group. I'm just calling because I have multiple buyers who've inquired specifically about your neighborhood, looking to purchase a home just like yours. They've seen all the other homes on the market right now, and they haven't bought anything yet. If you'd be interested in knowing how much they'd be willing to pay for your home, they are willing to pay top dollar. If you are interested in selling your home, call me back at blah, blah, blah. Thanks and take care. So that was the message we were dropping.
Got it. So yeah, another thing is when the just solds are awesome, right? The just solds are great, especially when you have a story to tell. Like, hey, hi, my name's Joe. I'm just calling. My team and I, we just sold your neighbor's house. Just sold's my favorite, right? Just listed is a little passive, right? So, but just sold is like, hey, you know what? My team and I, we just sold your neighbor's house at 123 XYZ Street. We actually wound up having multiple offers on this. We call this the language of real estate, right? So the language of real estate is just numbers, right? So if we can say, hey, we just listed your neighbor's house. We had it sold in 4 days. We had 3 offers, and we wound up selling about 2% over asking price. And due to our marketing efforts, now, because there was multiple offers and due to our marketing efforts, we have 2 buyers and unfortunately just did not get the house, but they are still dying and desperate to get into this neighborhood. If you're interested in finding out what a buyer would pay for your house in today's market, I would love to stop by your property. Or are you interested in finding out what someone would be willing to pay for your house? Please, let me know. Things like that. And then these scripts, they go,
But you don't have to, sorry, go ahead, Joe.
No, there's just a ton of them. There's just a ton of them. And it's just about having the it's just about getting on the phones and having the conversations.
But I was going to say, you don't have to actually wait for the house to physically and legitimately sell. As long as it's under contract and you just listed the home, Trotter's Way is a really good example. We just listed the home on Tuesday and we already have an offer in. So once that house is under contract, you can, if you have the time, call the neighborhood and be like, we just listed your neighbor's house on Tuesday and it's already under contract. We still have buyers looking in your area. Are you looking to sell? So you don't actually have to wait for closing to happen to make those calls.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Amanda. And also, I just want to say, if you're new, like me, you don't even have to wait to have the listing because I don't have any listings. So, but I'm a buyer. I'm mostly working as a buyer's agent right now. So if I take buyers somewhere and I make an offer and we don't get it, that's the same story. You still can circle and call the neighborhood and say, I've got buyers who are looking to get in your neighborhood. They didn't get what we made an offer on. There's nothing else left. Would you be interested? And it's just the same story from there.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sam. And then, the idea is this: if you guys don't have listings, you do. Your office has listings. If you're at Remax, your office has listings, right? You guys, we're a real estate team. We have listings. Does that make sense? We're at EXP. So guess what? Jen Kuhn, who is our friend, she has a lot of listings. she's a foreclosure agent with a lot of listings. Hagen has a lot of listings. Our team has a lot of listings. Whatever it is, there's something you can attach your name to. Does that make sense? You guys, there are listings that are happening, things that are happening out there. I'm going to play this script. I actually have it recorded on my phone. This is a really good one to use as well.
Hi, this is Joe from KW. I'm just calling because I have a buyer specifically inquired about your neighborhood, looking to purchase a home just like yours. They've seen all the other current homes on the market. They didn't buy it. But if you'd like to know how much they'll pay for your home, they're willing to pay top dollar. Call me back immediately. Again, if you're interested in selling your home, call me at blah, 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 blah. If you're already on the market, please disregard the message.
So that's my friend Jeff, right? That's Jeff from KW in South Jersey. So I'll throw this out there. He's crazy. He does that as a robo dial, and he buys lists and just drops them on full towns. He's out of control. He has a full call center. That's a whole nother thing. But yeah, cool. So we're at the 10-minute mark. I hope you guys got some value out of this. I want, if anything, man, just get started, man. Just get started. Just start talking to people. That's it. So on our team, on the Joe Oz Real Estate Group, we're listing based. We're prospecting based, and we have conversations. That's us, right? You don't have to be us. You could be a lot of different things. So this is what we do, and we just share what we do that works, right? We've aligned with oh, sure. Let me get to that. So that's kind of it. So Sam, if you can mute yourself. If you're not talking, you can mute yourself. So what we're going to do is, and I kind of mentioned this in the beginning, we are creating Bridgett and I are going to create a training calendar, right? Because like I said, we kind of we do what the agents need and want, when coronavirus hit, we just hit the shift book. We were we're doing the shift book for the next 8 weeks and we're going to dive into this, so whatever we want feedback, what do you guys need help with? What are the challenges that you're seeing? If we don't know, and that's the thing, if I don't know, or Bridgett doesn't know, or whatever that looks like, we'll find someone in the United States that does, and we'll get them on the training, let's have fun with this thing. And so next week, Bridgett, you're next week, right? You want to talk about what you're going to be training on? And by the way, guys, I can call on you at any time. So I want to see trigger fingers ready. And again, if there's, we come from contribution here, and we just want to share ideas. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go, there she is.
Sorry. I have no idea yet what we're doing next week, to be totally honest with you. But we will figure it out and put together a calendar this weekend. But if anybody has any ideas, or if they are struggling on something or have a question, definitely would love to hear what you want, and rise to that, and teach and help and share.
Cool. Thanks, Bridgett. Yeah, new agents, this is you. So Cool. So what we're going to do is we share ahas, right? So something that you got, like a little nugget that you got out of today's training. We share ahas because you might have heard something that someone else didn't hear. And that's it. So who wants to start so I don't have to call on someone?
I believe Brian has something that he wanted to say.
Oh, and questions too. Oh, Brian, that'd be awesome. Yeah, we should do something on investors. That would be awesome. I just saw that. That'd be rad. That'd be really awesome, actually. Thanks for offering that. Thomas Tropea, give me an aha.
Yeah, just the whole thing was very useful because I'm gonna actually start circle dialing immediately on for 31 Beach Haven Way. So I definitely needed to run through those scripts and know how to approach these neighbors. It's definitely different than cold calling like on the expireds. So yeah, the whole thing was honestly really good for me.
Cool, man. Amanda, can you drop, I think in our Facebook group, you can drop like scripts like as an attachment in the Facebook group. I think that'd be easy, like, so they're there.
Okay.
I think, I don't know. Let's see. Nick, share an aha with me.
Really just the importance of shifting with the market, and how the expireds dried up. So it's like, all right, what's the next, what else can we do? And so, moving to circle prospecting. And also that could help on both ends with, buyer and listing end, because there's such shortage of inventory. So you could be getting a listing and, you could have a buyer for it already, or, a bunch of buyers.
That's a really good point, man. Yeah. That's a really good point. I forgot. I didn't even realize that. I didn't even think about that, the low inventory. Sam Marks, can you share an aha with us?
Yeah. I think you said it before, Joe, that you don't, after the reading that you started with, you don't want to find yourself in a position where like 3 closings, then you're thinking like, oh crap, I need to call somebody. I need to find a listing. You want to be consistent, and you want to have that. Like, you want to be doing it the whole time. That way, there's no time where you feel like you absolutely have to do it, or else you're going to sink.
Thanks, man. Yeah. Cool. Kyle, do you have an aha you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, for sure. So I like the that you can set it the map that you can set up in Mojo. Like just to be able to grab the numbers around where you're calling and not like random expires. So that's a nice tip.
That's awesome. Who else? Lynette, can you share an aha with me, please?
I like the recording script that you played for us, the audio. I thought that was pretty cool.
All right, I'll text that to you.
Thank you.
Good job on your appointment. Lynette just set an appointment. What was that, yesterday?
Thank you. Yes, yesterday. Thank you.
Damn, she's on fire, you guys. Yo, and she just got engaged.
Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Lynette. You're awesome. Cool. Amanda, can you share an aha with us, please?
I don't really have one.
Yes, you do. All right, you share a lot.
I don't know. I just circle prospecting. I think my aha would be kind of what Sam said, which I didn't really think about. Like, if you're a buyer's agent, you should be doing circle dialing too. If your buyers are looking for a home in a neighborhood, just call that entire neighborhood and be like, I have buyers. It's not just for listings. I know you do want to catch listings, but if you're calling for buyers and you literally have buyers, like, you just will get listings that way.
Perfect. Thanks, Amanda. Anyone else would like to share an aha? Thanks for joining us. This is fun.
Joe, I'll share.
Thank you. I love that.
Yes, me, go. Okay.
Yes,
so
Stephanie, I'll share.
Okay, I just wanted to say that, everything that you guys teach with this kind of stuff, when I first started in real estate and I was just at a lame brokerage and they didn't go over any of this, it was always like they spend all of your time stressing about your current deal and then get the check pay off a bunch of bills immediately, and then stress about where the next deal is going to come from. And this is the first time in my adult life that I feel like I'm actually going to, in 5 years, not be stressed about where my next paycheck's going to be coming from, you know, because between hair and service industry and real estate, it's just not consistent. But the ideas behind this gives me a lot of hope for consistency.
Thanks, Stephanie. That was incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know if you ever seen the movie Mean Girls, but we're not like a regular brokerage. We're kind of like a cool brokerage.
He stole that from me, just so everyone knows.
Oh God, that's awesome. All right, does anyone have any ahas they'd like to share? I think we should all go get some listings, right? Does that sound good? All right, bye guys.
The scripts will be in the Facebook group, everybody. I'm going to put it in there.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us.
Hey, Amanda, you're the host. Will you stop recording and save it?
Yes.
Cool.